Betelgeuse is about to go supernova, possibly any day now. It's 600 light years away from us, so it may have already exploded and we wouldn't know for that amount of time. But when this red star's spectacular death reaches us, it will be as bright in the night sky as our moon. Betelgeuse itself is insanely huge. The red supergiant is 1,400 times the size of our sun. If it were in the center of our solar system, the edge of that star would reach past the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. When you understand its size, you can see why it would be so bright in the night sky if it were to go supernova. But if it does explode in our lifetime, it will give everyone around the world a collective reason to look up. Did you know that the closest planet to Earth isn't Mars or Venus? And I wouldn't blame you if you thought that they were. I mean, every map of the solar system shows the Earth right in between those two planets. But the closest planet to Earth is actually also the closest planet to the Sun, Mercury. Don't believe me? Well, let me show you. As you likely know, the planets don't orbit around the Sun in perfect circles. They orbit in an ellipse and not all on the same plane. Venus gets the closest to Earth of any of the planets, but only once every 1.5 years. Mars also gets close to Earth at certain times of the year too, but Mercury, due to its smaller and tighter orbit, gets closest to the Earth most often throughout the year. But Mercury isn't just the closest planet to Earth, it's also the closest planet to Venus, which of course, makes sense because it's right next to Venus, but Mercury is also the planet closest to Mars as well. So when you track the orbits and calculate the distance between each planet throughout the year, Mercury is the closest planet to Earth, Venus, and Mars, which is pretty crazy to think about. If you thought that this was how we move through our solar system, you'd be wrong. In reality, it looks a lot more like this: the Earth moving around the Sun in a corkscrew shape, and the rest of the planets are doing the same. How is this possible? Well, for one, our entire solar system rotates around our Milky Way galaxy at an insane 220 kilometers per second. Not only that, our entire solar system plane is tilted forward about 60 degrees in reference to our galaxy's plane. And when you trace out all of that movement, you can see our planet spiraling through space in beautifully organized chaos. So if you think about it, Earth is not only our planet, but it's also kind of a spaceship. You've likely heard that the largest mountain in the entire solar system is Olympus Mons, located on Mars. But have you ever seen the size comparison to the largest mountains here on Earth? Do you even realize how gigantic Olympus Mons really is? Olympus Mons is 25 kilometers or 16 miles tall and 600 kilometers or 374 miles wide. To give context to that, the area of this mountain is about the size of Arizona and twice as tall as the tallest mountain here on Earth, Mount Everest. But Mount Everest is only the tallest mountain on land. What about the tallest mountain that starts from the ocean floor? Mauna Kea is actually the tallest mountain on Earth from the base to its peak. And that one is a lot bigger than Mount Everest, so surely that will be taller or at least as tall as Olympus Mons, right? Nope, not even close. Olympus Mons still towers over everything. In fact, if Olympus Mons was here on Earth, the peak of the mountain would be almost higher than the Earth's ozone layer. There's something strange going on with Jupiter's giant red spot, a storm that has been going on for nearly 360 years with wind speeds around 430 kilometers per hour. It's known for its red color and oval shape, but recent measurements show that it's starting to become more circular. This means that the storm's wind speeds are actually speeding up, and it could be that the storm that's been going on for nearly 4 centuries is just getting started. What caused the storm to form in the first place and its increased speeds is currently unknown. The storm has similar properties to a hurricane here on Earth, with a relatively cleared out center, the eye of the storm. But the terrifying part about the eye of the giant red spot storm is that the eye is almost as big as Earth itself. It's commonly thought that the universe is infinite, but have you ever thought about what that shape of an infinite universe actually looks like? The universe itself is nearly 13.8 billion years old, and as far as we can tell, it's 93 billion light years across. This bubble of sorts is what we call the observable universe, but what's past that? Well, the short answer is we have no idea, but what's likely there is simply more universe, and the possibility of it going on infinitely forever may not mean what you think. According to Einstein, the fabric of space is considered to be a plane, but not a completely flat plane. It's curved ever so slightly. And if space-time is curved, if it goes on far enough, it could possibly and eventually just circle back around on itself. So the infinite universe may not be infinite in all directions at all. It could just be an infinite loop. A team of astrophysicists have detected a kilonova in the universe. Nope, not a supernova, a kilonova, which is on a whole other level. Back in December of 2021, a massive gamma ray burst, the most powerful explosion in the universe, was detected near Earth. We've only ever thought that gamma ray bursts were created as a result of supernova explosions, and typically those GRBs only last a few seconds. But this one lasted for 50 seconds. Due to its oddly long duration, there is naturally a lot of interest from astronomers and astrophysicists around the world to find out why. And a year later, they concluded that the gamma ray burst came from a kilonova, which only happens when two neutron stars merge. Kilonovae are some of the most violent and massive explosions in the universe, one that's thought to be responsible for heavier elements being created like gold in the universe, and now one that produces absolutely massive, deadly gamma ray bursts. One of the moons of Mars is going to be completely destroyed, and the thing that's going to do it is Mars itself. Mars has two really small moons, Phobos and Deimos. The larger of the two, Phobos, is only about 11 kilometers in diameter, and it orbits the planet extremely closely, only about 6,000 kilometers above the surface. It orbits around Mars 3 times a day and is slowly sinking towards the planet at a rate of about 2 centimeters per year. But Phobos won't just eventually get pulled down into the planet. No. Mars has worse plans for its tiny moon. The tidal forces inflicted on Phobos from Mars will eventually rip it apart completely. This will give Mars rings for a short period of time before the crumbled remains of Phobos fall down onto the Martian surface. We can already see evidence of this stretching and cracks on the surface of Phobos, as you can see in this photo. Astronomers believe that Phobos only has about 50 million years left before Mars completely destroys it.